Hey TikTok, story time. This was several years ago. I was at the Women's March in my local community. There were tons and tons and tons of people there. I was there with several friends. We were listening to all the speakers. Towards the end of the event, I saw two guys out of the corner of my eye. They were coming straight to me. When they got right next to me, they asked me if they could pray for me. I'm not inclined to deny anyone that, because in my experience, when people ask to pray for me, they're coming from a pretty good place. But as they started to pray, I realized they weren't just praying generally. They were praying that I be healed. And so when they finished praying, they asked me if I felt any different. I said no. So they prayed again. They again asked if I felt any different. I said no. They went away muttering about my lack of faith. Now, I've had a disability since I was born, and I've been a Christian for a very long time. I don't think my disability has anything to do with a lack of faith. I think I have a disability because this is the way God made me, and my disability was part of his plan. I also believe that God could heal me anytime that he wants to, and every minute that I'm not healed, it means that God has a purpose for my using a wheelchair. And as long as God has a purpose for my using a wheelchair, I'm okay with my circumstances. So I was offended that these guys made the assumption that I would want to be healed without asking me, and that somehow my life would be better if I didn't have a disability. I don't think any of that is true. I was also struck that they weren't preaching the gospel. If that were the case, they would have gone up to anyone in the crowd. But instead they singled me out. And that's what I was kind of offended by. They thought I needed to be healed. I don't need to be healed. I think my disability is part of who I am. And I trust God that he will heal me when he believes the time is right.